When you're in a challenging conversation, if you're able to generate oxytocin in the other person, that trust chemical, you're more likely to get them to open up, to share openly, so that you can have an open, honest dialogue.
Somewhere between kindergarten and high school, we start covering up our true selves and orientating our persona towards being who we think others want us to be.
People don't want to be managed. They want to be led. Who ever heard of a world manager?
Welcome to the Inside Forbes Councils podcast. Each episode shares transformative insights and advice from members of Forbes Councils, a group of invitation-only communities for successful executives and entrepreneurs. This is Inside Forbes Councils.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Inside Forbes Councils podcast. My name is Stephen Ganoza, and I'm the producer of the Inside Forbes Councils podcast. Today we'll be taking a look at how oxytocin, authenticity, and good old-fashioned leadership improve workplace interactions. We'll hear from Forbes Councils members David Murray, the CTO of Doctor.com, executive coach and trainer Lorna Weston-Smyth, and Francis McIntosh, founder and CEO of Intentional Coaching. So let's dive right in. First, David Murray, CTO of Doctor.com, will explain how an understanding of brain chemistry can help you in difficult conversations at work.
Hi, my name is David Murray. I'm CTO of Doctor.com. We are a business platform for hospitals and private practices to manage everything about their business that's non-clinical. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about handling the difficult interactions at work with the consideration of brain chemistry. One of the most powerful chemicals out there in the brain, I'm not going to say dopamine or serotonin, is oxytocin. Oxytocin is the trust chemical. It's the chemical that, babies have between mothers. It's a chemical that gets generated from physical touch that some salespeople, use the savvy to know that if they have a little bit of physical contact, they're more likely to close the sale, etc. When you're in a challenging conversation with a coworker or direct report or even your boss, if you're able to generate oxytocin in the other person, that trust chemical, you're more likely to get them to open up, to share openly, so that you can have an open, honest dialogue, which candidly is one of the most effective ways to get things done and to get people to open up. I have a really actually simple, not easy, but simple technique to generate oxytocin in another individual. A lot of research shows that this is an effective technique, and it's less contentious than touch, and that's to be vulnerable. Some of you guys may be familiar with Brene Brown, who talks a lot about vulnerability and shame, etc. If I share with you right now that when I was younger, I had a stepmom who was she's a full-blooded German from France, very conservative in her bringing me up, shall we say. And she used to lock me in my room and force me to read these big Isaac Asimov books. And I used to pretend to read them and then read the back. And when she came in and asked me to summarize what I read, I would, kind of creatively BS. And that was one reason why I didn't enjoy reading when I was a kid, and even up into my college years. So often have books on tape, etc., that I listen to instead. The reason I share this story is to ask you, in you hearing this story just now, how do you feel about me compared to when you just first heard my voice? My expectation is that you probably feel a little bit more affinity for me, a little bit more openness, because I'm a little bit more human than maybe you would have thought when you first started listening. This technique, a very simple technique to share openly and vulnerably about something that's personal about yourself, ideally in context of whatever the topic is that you're going to be sharing or discussing with that other person. By sharing that vulnerability and being that vulnerable person, you're more likely to get that other person to connect with you and be willing to be vulnerable themselves. That vulnerability actually generates oxytocin in the other individual and again creates trust. So when you're having that difficult conversation and you're kind of not sure where to start, think to yourself, what is the most vulnerable thing that I could say right now? Or even just something that's, on the topic, but reveals a vulnerable side to me. If you start from that place, the hope is that you'll be able to have a more authentic human interaction with the person you're having that difficult conversation with. And the hope is that the end result is that you'll make progress together and connect and have a better relationship once that conversation finishes.
Are you a successful executive or entrepreneur with insights to share? Learn more about our invitation-only communities at ForbesCouncils.com. Forbes Councils members have the opportunity to collaborate with fellow business leaders to overcome challenges and create new opportunities. Members also have access to support benefits that help them save time and money, and a platform, Community Voice, on Forbes.com, through which they can amplify their voices and exchange ideas. See if you qualify at ForbesCouncils.com.
And next, we'll hear from executive coach and trainer Lorna Weston-Smyth, who will look at workplace interactions through the lens of leadership. She'll discuss the difference between managing and leading, and why leading results in better interactions.
Hi, my name is Lorna Weston-Smyth, a certified John Maxwell executive coach and a member of the Forbes Coaches Council. I equip ordinary people to become extraordinary leaders. Through coaching, mentoring, and training, I work with them to become better leaders in their business and in their life, to get better results and build a team they can count on. In 1984, United Technologies published a piece called "Let's Get Rid of Management." It went like this: people don't want to be managed, they want to be led. Who ever heard of a world manager? World leader, yes. Even an educational leader, political leader, religious leader, scout leader, community leader, labor leader, business leader. They lead, they don't manage. You can lead your horse to water, but you can't manage him to drink. If you want to manage somebody, manage yourself. Do that well, and you'll be ready to stop managing and start leading. Almost 35 years later, most businesses still don't seem to understand the idea that people don't want to be managed. They want leadership. Influential thought leader Peter Drucker said that one does not manage people. The task is to lead people, and the goal is to make productive the specific strengths and knowledge of each individual. Most people want to do a good job. How well they perform is simply a reflection of the leadership of the person they work for and their relationship with them. Most employees want to come in, be trusted to do their work, and do a good job. Managing people is disempowering. It treats people like they are not adults capable of doing the work without someone watching over them. Leadership equips people to do the job, inspiring them to do it well, and then trusting them to get it done. And who doesn't want to be trusted? Journalist and publisher John Zenger wrote that leadership generates an emotional connection between the leader and the led. Leadership attracts people and ignites them to put forth incredible effort in a common cause. In other words, leadership brings out the best in others. Managers use their position to get things done. Leaders use their influence. Management is structure. Leadership is human. To lead, we must first understand the people we wish to lead, their strengths and passions, their hopes and dreams, and care about them enough to want to help them make those happen. Only then can we move from management to leadership, unlocking the potential, creativity, and discretionary effort of the people within our organization. For an organization to thrive, there must be more than just management. There must also be leadership. This is executive coach and trainer Lorna Weston-Smyth. Connect with me on LinkedIn for more. LornaWeston-Smyth. Or send me a message to get more on the September launch of my podcast, Leadership Wisdom Shortcuts.
And finally, Frances McIntosh, founder and CEO of Intentional Coaching, will further explain the benefits of being authentic, both for you and your organization.
Hi, my name is Frances McIntosh. I'm the founder and CEO of Intentional Coaching. I'm a leadership coach and a Daring Way facilitator. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we should be and embracing who we are. Somewhere between kindergarten and high school, we start covering up our true selves and orientating our persona towards being who we think others want us to be. Social norms, being liked and fitting in, all slowly chip away at the core of our authenticity. We layer ourselves with masks and armor. These are the things that create emotional, physical, and intellectual barriers, preventing our colleagues, bosses, families, and friends from seeing our true, authentic selves. As you unlock your true, authentic self, you'll notice these 5 things. 1. You get to know yourself really well. Often the most authentic people I coach are those who have completed a 12-step study or done some sort of intensive self-discovery work. It's in the getting down and dirty with your hurts and hang-ups that the pretense falls away, leaving strengths and weaknesses revealed. Number 2, you can clearly define your boundaries. The more you understand yourself, the more you see where you end and someone else begins. Number 3, you become more comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. This can be hard, especially when dealing with uncomfortable conversations. We all have an innate desire to be liked, and if we're perceived as a jerk, it taints how others see us. However, to get action and results, you have to get comfortable with this discomfort. Number 4, you surround yourself with quality people. These are the people who fill you with energy, are trustworthy, and have defined morals. They have sound characters and live with integrity, doing the right thing every time, even when it's tough to do so. Number 5, you recognize that everyone is on their own journey. Just as I am on a journey to be my wholly authentic self, so are you, and so is your team. We learn and grow in different seasons, times, and tracks. The bottom line, it takes less time and energy to show up as your true self. Research tells us that we all have at least a few blind spots. So it's important to get regular, open, and possibly hard feedback to ensure we are not operating from a blind zone. Authenticity is the gift that keeps on giving. As you show up without pretense, others start practicing it too, leading to a life with more joy, meaning, fulfillment, and success. If you want to learn more about this and other topics, you can reach me through my website, intentional-coaching.com.
Well, that's all we've got for today. I want to thank David, Lorna, and Francis for sharing their insights. And be sure to be on the lookout for Lorna's upcoming podcast, Leadership Wisdom Shortcuts. We'll see you on the next episode.
This has been Inside Forbes Councils. Please be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're a member of the Forbes Councils and would like to participate in our podcast series, please email your member concierge. If you're interested in joining a Forbes Council, learn more at ForbesCouncils.com.